watching News Mongolia on MNB World. I'm your host, Susanna Oktay. Good evening. For our top stories, 210 more cases of COVID-19 confirmed on Monday. Prime Minister of Mongolia meets with the board of the Mongolian Civil Service Council. Protest held as Turkey withdraws from treaty protecting women. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health and the National Center for Communicable Diseases held its daily press briefing to provide the latest updates on COVID-19 status in Mongolia. On Monday, 210 more cases of COVID-19 were confirmed.
210 new COVID-19 cases have been confirmed in the past 24 hours after 10,049 people were tested nationwide, and the country's total number of cases has reached 5,186. 129 new patients have recovered, and the total number of recoveries is now 3,606, making up 70% of total cases. All new cases but one were confirmed domestically, making the number of total domestic cases 4,652, and one imported case detected from a person who arrived on Budapest-Ulaanbaatar specially chartered flight. 206 new cases were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar, making the Ulaanbaatar's total number of cases 4,284, and 3 rural cases were recorded in Hovsgol province. The 210 new cases include 185 close contacts of known patients, and contact tracing is now underway for the remaining 25 cases to find the source of infection. The 25 patients reside in the 5th, 11th, and 15th horos of Bayanzur, 7th horo of Sukhbatar, 4th, 5th, 11th, 20th, 24th, and 25th horos of Bayangol, 1st, 11th, 17th, and 18th horos of Hangol, 5th and 17th horos of Jingilte, 9th, 14th, and 26th horos of Söngenherjon district. Out of the 1,407 patients who are currently undergoing treatment, 3 are in critical condition. Health officials warn the public to take precautionary measures thoroughly as the number of infections is increasing over the days. Ulaanbaatar city has entirely become an epicenter of COVID-19, so there is no place in the city which has less risk of getting exposed to the virus.
Minister of Finance Jaflung is currently visiting Umungov province. The minister has been introduced to the operations of the Kashon-Sukhat border checkpoint as well as to customs reforms. Kashon-Sukhat is considered the main export border point responsible for generating a significant amount of state revenue.
Mongolia's customs revenue in 2021 is expected to be 271.2 billion Mongolian tugris, with over 73.5 billion Mongolian tugris collected as of the first quarter. The head of the customs division at Kashon-Sukhat noted that there is a need to extend the validity of PCR tests taken by truck drivers to 10 to 14 days, and that the People's Republic of China accepts the results of tests taken in Mongolia. If these issues are resolved, it would be possible to increase coal export by a considerable amount. He added that procedures such as truck drivers being required to leave their trucks on the road to get tested or to travel long distances to get tested would be unnecessary with changes made to testing requirements. It was announced that the Kashon-Sukhat-Tsarangat road will be connected to the region's integrated telesystem. In the framework of customs reforms, construction of the Kashon-Sukhat port complex has been delayed due to the pandemic. The complex project, funded by grant aid from China, is expected to nearly triple border crossings and increase exports. The port's Guide to Development infrastructure project includes construction of an 18-lane road, 6-lane commuter transport road, new construction at the border checkpoint, underground infrastructure, and apartment buildings for workers. Finance Minister Jaflung said, "From now on, we will develop the capacity of our southern border checkpoints through the Guide to Development infrastructure project and other investments." Construction work at the port has been delayed for nearly a year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. We're hoping to start the work with no more delays this year. In June 2022, Kashon-Sukhat's renovations will have finished and its crossing capacity will be doubled or tripled. Also, employees at the border checkpoint will have pleasant apartments to live in, and commuters, especially the truck drivers, will be guaranteed safe and healthy traveling conditions.
And here are the currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. Prime Minister of Mongolia meets with the board of the Mongolian Civil Service Council. Prime Minister Oyun met with the chairman and members of the Civil Service Council to discuss civil reform and law enforcement. Prime Minister of Mongolia Oyun met with the chairman and members of the Civil Service Council to discuss civil reform and law enforcement. During the meeting, the Prime Minister discussed reforms in civil service. He highlighted the need to pay special attention to the education and health sectors to assess the structure and functions of civil service throughout the country, the classification of state-owned companies, staff efficiency, ethics, attitudes and responsibility, and the transition to a performance-based salary system. He said that hiring young people who have received state grants and scholarships to study at foreign universities, the introduction of digital technology in public service, and the creation of linked database systems are important. The Civil Service Council provided detailed information on the implementation of new legislation and planned actions. Council members also noted that there have been good practices in digitalizing civil service in some provinces. It was reported that the civil service exam has moved to a completely digital format and the database for civil servants has been updated. It was mentioned that the number of complaints about civil services has increased in recent years and that there is a lack of enforcement of laws and regulations. The Prime Minister instructed the Council to draft a map for reforming the structure, delegation and consolidation of department functions to develop legal reform and for improving ethics in public service. And here's the weather forecast for the world's major cities. That's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you tomorrow with more stories and updates. Please follow MNB World on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.